Hello everyone! Having a great LinkedIn profile is key to achieving your goals and unlocking new opportunities. So in this video, I want to show you how you can turn your LinkedIn profile page into an actual landing page-like experience. I'll try to walk you through all of the different aspects of the profile, from your banner image to your summary section, to your headline, job descriptions, highlighted posts, and all of that in order for you to create an incredible experience and being able to stand out. The most important thing when you start is to think about what your goal is. If you're a freelancer or consultant or advisor, it's probably to land new customers. If you're a content creator on LinkedIn, it might be just to get more followers from the platform. If you represent your company because you're in a sales role, or maybe you're the founder or a senior executive at that company, it would be to land new customers for that company. And if you are looking for new opportunities, maybe you're looking for your next job, or you're not actively looking, but you want to optimize your profile for recruiters, then your goal is, to get visibility from when it comes to, new opportunities, and when it comes to standing out whenever a recruiter looks at your profile. So once you have that goal clear in mind, you can start to basically take the different things that I will show you and make sure to adapt them to achieve that goal. And I will also try my best to show you different examples from different kind of profiles so that you can best use them and when it comes to optimizing your profile. First thing, but also very important, make sure to have an optimized URL. So it should be user-friendly, maybe your name and last name, something like that. You can edit it right here. Just make sure not to have like a string of numbers and letters, because you're gonna share the URL with people and chats or whatever, so it should look nice. Let's take a look at the banner images. This is my profile, and as you can see, I chose to state what I do. So helping B2B SaaS companies grow. There is a call to action. There is my website right there. So generally, this is kind of good. However, one way to make this better would be to be more precise with the message. So this is pretty generic still. So I should probably narrow it down on which areas of growth I help the most. So demand generation in my case, what type of B2B SaaS companies, startups around 1 million ARR. So you need to still keep it like brief and not include the too big chunks of text, but make sure that it's a little bit specific. I want to show you a couple of other examples. So if you're representing your company, you would probably have something that is branded as your company. In this case, I would say this might work because Chili Piper has so much brand awareness in the SaaS world that you don't really need to explain what they do. However, in general, I would prioritize clarity. So top secret spice for revenue teams doesn't really say anything. Might work for them, but if your company isn't as big, this wouldn't work. You would need to have a more clear message, say exactly who you help, how, and maybe what makes your product different. Let's take a look at another example. This is very clear. This person builds RevOps functions from scratch. You already understand in 1 second what this person does, and then from the rest of the profile, you understand a little bit more what content they might be creating on LinkedIn and how this person might help you. I love this one because it's very clear. So you land on it. It's a big statement. This is what I do. I create B2B SaaS messaging, and it's precise, punchy, and persuasive. So something like this is perfect if you are a solopreneur or you're kind of like in between, like offering services and creating content on LinkedIn. So your goal might be both to increase your followers base, but also to land new clients. If you have something very specific that you offer, then you can go for something like this, even just like promoting a specific product, a specific resource that you have created in the past. And if none of these apply, you're just want to, have something that looks good to recruiters, I think it's a good idea to highlight your field of expertise. So this could be like a good example, and maybe what kind of topics you cover on LinkedIn if you actively post, who your current employer is at the moment, and anything that looks a bit better than a random background image. You can create this very easily with Canva, even on the free version. So just pick a template, pick a message that works, and optimize the banner. This is super important. Profile picture doesn't need to look good. It mostly needs to look clear, so don't have a noisy background. You can remove the background with free tools like remove.bg or with Canva, although that requires a pro subscription. However, just have something that looks clear and neat. I would encourage to not use the open to work or hiring banner that LinkedIn offers. You can reflect those things within other aspects of your profile, but it's my personal opinion that it doesn't add anything to have that on your profile picture. So my recommendation is to not do that. Tagline. Make sure not to have just your current role or job title, but try to include something more there. So it could be what you write about on LinkedIn, it could be who you help, it can be a one line, I help busy founders with content creation on LinkedIn, or I streamline operations for logistics companies looking to digitize. Anything that is a little bit more descriptive, a little bit more engaging than just SDR at company XYZ. In my case, I like to keep things a little bit not so serious about my profile. In other cases, you may want to keep the tone a little bit more professional. This might be a nice example. This is a little long maybe, but of how you can highlight who you are, why your profile is interesting, what you do, and things like that. So try to spend a little bit of time thinking how you can turn marketing manager at company X into a more descriptive way that reflects your role, maybe your skills, maybe some side projects you have going on, or simply just tell a little bit more about what you do, what you've been doing in your career. And you can keep the job title in there, so you can just add it as an additional descriptive part. So you can also start with your job title and then add something there. If you have a website, make sure to link it. You can choose the anchor text here. So it could be look at my portfolio. It could be, this you may not offer a course, but any kind of resource that you may want to link there. I personally just link my website, my personal website there. If you represent a company, it could be like a book a demo, call to action, or maybe a link to the website of your company. It really depends. Just that's an additional slot that you can leverage. So make sure to include something relevant if you are able to do so. Then there is the featured section. In my case, I chose to include something personal here, so a personal experience of mine. I'm not really in hunting mode when it comes to landing new customers, so I didn't care that much about that. However, in the future, I might include case studies or video content that I create, or something else that is a little bit more relevant to what I do. If you don't have external resources, you can also just pin interesting posts that you've created on LinkedIn, maybe posts that got a lot of engagement, or even that didn't, but they say something very interesting about what you do. Otherwise, again, it could be anything else that is relevant. So yeah, resources that you created, maybe if you have a newsletter, a personal website, anything like that, you can include it in here. It gets a lot of visibility, so make sure to pick the right resources there. Then there is the About section. This is basically a summary, and the most important thing here is to grab the attention of the reader. So you have just 2-3 lines to grab attention, so you need to make sure to have a good hook, a well-engaging first sentence. In my case, I just chose to point out the 2 main things that people might be interested when it comes to the services I offer. So if you have these 2 problems, then I explain how I can help. You can get a little bit creative here. I love something like this. Proven track record of blah, 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 blah. Kidding. This really makes you want to click and read more. So try to have, to put a lot of focus on those first 2 lines. And then from there, tell a good story about what you do, why people might want to engage with your profile, follow you, consider you for a role, whatever your goal is. This is probably the most extensive slot on your LinkedIn profile to explain that in depth. So from your banner and headline, you grab the attention, and here between the featured section and your about section, it's when you can go more in details and really explain why you stand out, what you work on, how you can help, why your profile is relevant, and basically achieve whatever goal you have set for your LinkedIn profile. The other super important thing is to include relevant description to your previous job experiences. So make sure not to have something like sales manager at company and then like something super generic, but include some metrics, how you were successful in that role. Try to tell a story. As I said, in my case, I try to keep the tone very conversational, very informal, sometimes a little bit quirky and not taking things too seriously. You can choose to go for a more professional approach. However, try to tell a story. So this is an example. I explain when I joined the company, at which stage they were at, how the company scaled in the first 2 years when I was there, how it drove an impact. Again, putting things into context. If you expect people not to know the company, this is very helpful to explain the stage they were at when you joined, what kind of company, what kind of services they offer, or maybe what industry it's placed in, how you drove an impact. Ideally, you include numbers. You can include specific metrics that reflect your success in the role. And again, have a good mix of data, specific metrics, specific insights, and a bit of storytelling about how you evolved in the role, how you were successful, and anything else that might be relevant. This is super important. So don't underestimate the value of creating great stories for each of your job experience. And you can also include in here things that go beyond your full-time roles. So if you have side projects or join certain initiatives or things like that, this might also be a good place to highlight those. Really depends. There's no rule here, but try to think anything that might make me stand out more. I want to have it in here. There are a couple of other things, of course, so you can collect some recommendations from people in your network. That will help. You can add relevant skills, volunteering experience, certifications that you might have gained, or awards throughout the years, your education, all of that stuff. So this is not everything. There are a couple of more things that you can work with. The most important thing, to sum things up, have a clear goal in mind, optimize for attracting attention, and then optimize for telling the right stories in the sections that allow you to do so, which are mainly the featured section, the summary section, and your job experience sections. However, you first need to grab people's attentions. So start with that, have a great banner image, have a great tagline, link your website, link resources, make those things very visible, and then double down on being very precise in your communication and telling a great story. This is an amazing way to stand out. You don't need a lot of followers. You don't need to have been super active on the platform to have a great profile. So that's the advantage. Make sure to spend some time thinking about your goals and how you can improve your visibility on LinkedIn. I truly hope that this was helpful. Please let me know in the comments if there is any questions that you might have. You can also link your LinkedIn profile and I can give you a little bit of feedback directly in the comments. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for tuning in. Take care.